What did you expect? Welcome, Sonny. Make yourself at home. Marry my daughter. You've got to remember that these are just simple farmers. These are people of the land. The common clay of the New West. You know. Morons.
Welcome to Morons Mince.
Movies.
Oh shit, that's right. We're mincing movies today. I'm your host, Moron Sam Munoz, and I'm here with my fellow morons, Ublester Peñalosa II, and Akam. He's just Arturo.
Hey, nice.
Hey,
like
that's Knuff.
No, he's never Knuff.
No, he is Knuff.
Arturo is
He is Knuff. Yeah.
And today we are mincing or making sense of Barbie.
Woo!
Yes.
Barbie.
We're a little late to the game, and we apologize
these guys
for this.
were late to the game.
Well, we
I
kinda-
was right on time.
We saw it during the first week, but you know,
we did.
yeah,
we just
I saw it
was there
Friday
opening
night.
He was
I
there
was there
opening
Friday night.
nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did the whole Barbenheimer
Yeah,
double
yep.
feature type thing.
He was wearing a pink outfit with a fedora. It looked very good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, speaking of pink, I like that you brought out the stripes, the pink
Yeah.
stripes.
yeah.
Was that on purpose?
No.
Yeah.
It was not on purpose, but
I
somehow.
went with like the brightest color I had, which is the baby blue.
I
don't
went
have
with
a
what I
pink?
was wearing today.
Yeah, a black
I
and
don't-
pink.
I don't have blank. No,
Oh, man.
not
You
yet
don't have
though.
blink.
Blink. Black
need
pink.
need to get some blink.
Did you guys notice we're all wearing blue? Actually,
No.
Yeah.
Not until you just.
yeah, I
said it.
just caught that.
Yeah. I guess we
Looked
just
over.
blew ourselves.
Yeah.
So we're doing Barbie today.
Yes. I'm actually really excited to talk about
Yeah.
this movie. So let's just get right into it. Just start with.
Real quick before we jump in, actually, I have a favor to ask of everybody. Us three, would you guys mind pausing and looking at the camera? Humor me for this, will you?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thumbnail.
And Noel. Yes. And can you add blood winks to us?
Yeah.
Blood wing.
Oh, no, I don't want the blonde.
Yes.
Blood
Yes.
stuff.
Oh.
Do it. Thank you.
I think I just
If
done.
not, I'll do it
I
to
did
make
like
it easier,
the
but
dumbest.
let's do it.
I did like the dumbest blank face.
I had no idea what was
Do you
going on.
want to redo it?
So,
no.
no, we're going to go with that one, damn it.
Awesome.
We're going to go with that one.
Yeah.
Now we have a workable
continue.
thumbnail.
Yes.
This is because the last thumbnail we were all.
You could tell it was like the default, like very first one that appeared.
Yeah. I don't know how YouTube works.
We were talking about doing the wave, and I did it off screen, but it was like in that intro thing, and it was like throwing trash
No, I'm
behind
glad
him
you
or
did
something.
that. I'm glad you did that. Now we have a usable thumbnail.
Hey man, you're welcome.
So back to
All right.
Barbie.
Back to
Jumping
Barbie.
right into it.
Yes, let's get right into it. Let's start with you.
I want
Uble.
to start off with just some numbers because
Numbers.
the reason
Yes.
why we're still doing this, for the most part, usually we'd be like, "Fuck it, we missed the window."
And I'm always
Oh, well.
the one trying to like, no, let's still talk about stuff.
Yes, this
Yeah.
guy is like, it doesn't matter if it came out 2 months ago and almost in streaming, we can still mince it.
No, I mean not that like late,
But for the most part, we're like, we've missed the window. Oh well, it didn't work. We'll just have to not do it.
Mm-hmm.
But for this one, we're doing it because of the fact that even now, a month after its release, when did it come out?
No, it's been like
out.
2.5.
It'll be
It's
a
been
month when
it's-
this comes out, I think.
Probably.
Yeah, but
It came out July 21st.
We might get it out as soon as possible.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's
July
only been 2
21st.
weeks,
Oh,
but
okay.
Noah, I'm
I feel
hoping
like
our
it's been
Noah
out. I
producer.
feel like it's
will
been
do-
out forever, and probably because of the
They
fact
talk
that
about
they've
it.
been,
They
they've
haven't
been
stopped talking
marketing
about it.
And not only that, but they were marketing this shit
Oh,
way
yeah.
long ago. When
Yeah.
was the first time you heard that they were going to make a Barbie movie? I think it was
Oh,
pre-COVID for me.
when it was announced.
When
for
they
me.
right, because
when
a
they
lot of people were
casted
talking
Margot
about-
Robbie and
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling as
Well, I remember the
Barbie.
Amy
Yeah.
Schumer project as well before that.
Again.
just stated before this.
just feeding into the fact that they have been doing this or at least
Oh,
talking
true,
about
yeah.
this for a long time now. So it feels like it's been out for a long time. But this makes it even more impressive is the fact that it's
People
only
are
been
still
out
talking
for-
about it,
It's only been out for 2 or 3 weeks. People
Especially
are still talking
the-
about it.
and they haven't moved
There's
on
a
to the
repeat
next.
audience. I've seen stories of people where it's like, I'm going to fucking just guess which movie you're going to go watch right now. And sure enough, it's Barbie again
Yeah.
for the
Yep.
third or fourth time. It's like a Titanic.
Yeah, it's getting there too. It's
like
getting
a
close to $1 billion worldwide.
A
So
billion with a B.
It's
Yeah.
possible it could challenge a Mario for the most
highest grossing film of the year.
highest grossing film of the year. Right now, it's at $835 million. Thank you, producer Noel, for
Yeah.
pulling that up. So it's really close. to get into $1 billion, and it's gonna challenge Mario to be the highest grossing film.
Would you have ever guessed that in 2023 the top 2 movies
Be Barbie
would
and
be
Mario.
Barbie and a Mario movie?
No,
awesome.
no,
Fuck
no.
yeah.
Especially, let's get to some general
Okay, I
thoughts,
just
and
wanted to-
we'll talk
Yeah.
about all that, because I definitely want to.
Oh, got it.
into
You have an order in your head. My general thoughts were I enjoyed it. I saw this very much like an Anchorman. It reminded me a lot of Anchorman in the sense that there are things that happen in this universe that they don't question, and you as the viewer have that split decision, that split thought of like, what the fuck am I watching? But then you just go, I guess it makes sense in this universe. Sure, let's go with it. In Anchorman, there's a song montage scene. There's a battle between 5 popular news stations that they don't try to explain
The
it.
man punted Baxter.
Yeah, the Jack Black punted Baxter.
Well, they established quick that this is a comedy within a fantasy
I mean,
world.
the whole opening of it and being in
Yeah.
her dream world, dream house.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that aspect of it. I also we'll get into the rest later, I guess, when we talk about it. But general thoughts, I enjoyed it.
I got like I told Uble after the movie ended.
We went to go watch it together.
yes, in a day, and
We
we
were
held
both-
hands.
We couldn't decide who was Ken and who was Barbie, so
So we both went as
we
Barbie.
both went as Barbie.
Nice. Are there pictures of this?
Yeah.
Can we please post one?
No.
No, there was no. So, as I told Uble after the movie ended, I said to him, I have to say, this movie is fucking genius. So, I would ask anybody, if someone were to task you, here, write me a Barbie movie, is this the kind of Barbie movie that you
No.
would write? I think like 99% of us
No.
would probably write some formulaic romantic comedy type of thing where Barbie is like the biggest crisis is whether she gets to go out on a date with Ken or something like that.
Yeah.
But Greta Gerwig, the director of this movie, who is a very acclaimed director, she directed Lady Bird. Great movie. I highly recommend it. It was in my top 10 of the year that came out. I think it was 2017, I think.
Yep.
And she wrote it with her partner, Noah Baumbach, great director, writer as well. He directed Marriage Story, was like my #1 movie of 2019.
Yeah.
Both great filmmakers. So when I heard that they were making this movie, I knew that it was something that could be different than just like a generic Barbie movie.
Yeah.
But I honestly didn't think it was going to be this sort
Yeah.
of crazy out there type of movie that is, I mean, it touches all kinds of political commentary, social commentary and type of stuff.
It's deep.
And it works on many levels, which I want to get into it because I know there's a sort of a discourse in popular culture right now about it, and I think people are looking at it some people are looking at it very superficially, and it goes deeper than what maybe like the obvious message that can be taken from the movie. And the movie is, by the way, fucking hilarious.
It really is.
I
All the
laughed.
jokes.
I laughed so much. Like there was a smile on my face from beginning to end.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no point in this movie where I like felt bored or it dragged or anything
Or
like
forced.
that. It was
Like there was no part where I felt like a joke was like, ugh, fucking okay, low hanging fruit there, and
no, they did a great job.
All the
Like I
jokes
said,
landed.
these filmmakers they have a good history of making good movies, and I definitely enjoyed it.
yeah.
Arturo?
I fucking loved it. Like I had such a great time with it. Again, the only thing I had heard of it before going into it was it's not what you expect. That is the only thing I heard, and as
How
y'all know, I
ominous.
try to stay away from spoilers and such, and reviews, or even overall impressions or opinions. And I fucking loved it from beginning to end. I loved the deeper message behind it all. I had a feeling it was going to kind of cross over into real world, but the way they did it, the way they handled it, everything that they discussed and approached was so real. You know, like
Although
this
the
much
real
bigger
world in this is we'll get into
aspects,
it.
because there's a lot of it that's true too. But and then like hats off to Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling for fucking nailing their roles so well on so many different this emotional spectrum that they just fucking handled. They both knew it, like it was absolutely amazing. And I had such a great time with it, and I was down to see it again with you guys. And then all of a sudden, you guys texted super last minute.
When we texted you, we had
That was
just
the day we
decided like
decided.
2 minutes before. Like,
I'll show you the fucking text messages.
Yeah, we have proof.
Legit.
The receipts.
Legit.
Yeah,
legit, the text message was, "Oh shit, let's ask Arturo and Noel if they want to go." And then we texted
After you guys made your own private plans, is what I'm hearing.
This is correct.
Yes, because you had already
Because
watched
you
it
had
without
already
us.
seen
That's
it.
true.
We
I had
thought
already
like,
seen it.
well,
your
we
private
should.
plans without us.
Yeah. So
Gave us the impression.
You betrayed us
If
first.
anything, yeah, you're the betrayer, fucking Judas.
Oh shit! Yeah, I couldn't wait. I was really excited. I saw it Friday opening before we recorded Oppenheimer.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna see it,
So Barbie
but,
was
yeah.
more important than your two
Yeah.
friends.
You couldn't even text us at the
Yeah.
before.
Hey
and just
guys,
say,
want
like,
to come through?
Yeah. You could have at least.
Well, I
appreciated that.
knew you guys wouldn't be able to.
Yeah,
No, we
exactly.
wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have made it. But yeah,
But yeah, Barbie fucking amazing. Loved it.
All right. Noel, you have any general thoughts?
You saw Barbie,
I haven't
right?
seen it.
Oh,
You haven't
shit,
seen it?
what?
Oh, we're about to spoil it.
Spoil the
Oh
shit out
my
of this
god.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
why do you hate women?
Yeah, why? Why do you hate women? Why? Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, maybe we should give like a synopsis on this. So, the movie takes place in Barbie Land,
That's
as
where it
you guys
starts.
know. So,
Yeah.
and you get to know there's all the Barbies. The Barbies kind of control Barbie Land.
They had that the intro to.
Oh yeah, the
I
intro.
forgot
We should
about
talk about
that.
the fucking
The teaser
intro.
trailer that was basically the opening of the film.
Yeah,
It really
the
was.
movie-
I never saw this before the movie.
Oh, really? Yeah. It was
I managed
yeah.
to make it up until this movie without seeing
that,
this.
yeah.
I
you?
saw. Yeah, I did.
Oh, you had seen it already?
Yeah, I had seen that trailer. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't
But
seen
not with the
this.
voiceover. It was just like.
No, yeah.
Really? There
Yeah.
was voiceover.
Helen Mirren was. Oh no, yeah, Helen Mirren was in the teaser trailer. Yeah. You
Yeah,
guys
well-
realized that was Helen Mirren too, by the way.
And what a
That was
great,
awesome.
yeah, of course.
I
What a
realized
great-
later on.
Yeah, what a great voiceover.
But yeah, it starts off with the voiceover, kind of giving a little bit of like history of like girls before Barbie could only
Yeah.
play with baby dolls, and then Barbie came along and it changed everything.
And
it's a
this is
great
done
joke.
a la-
By the which I think like me and you and maybe like 3 other people in the theater got it.
Yeah.
We were like the only ones laughing.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it was like
Yeah, especially when he threw
2000 was Space Odyssey.
when he
yes.
threw the doll up. I was like, come on, how are people not getting this? And there was
Yes.
only like 2 people that went like, oh.
Yeah, that-
Comparison is shown here between Barbie.
No, that's not gonna happen.
no.
Noel is
Why you
already
making
shaking
Noel?
his head no. Like, no, don't. That's not gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah, our theater was super packed, and there was a family next to me, and I felt like I was probably annoying them because I was laughing a lot,
You were.
and I have a very annoying laugh. I understand.
I
this.
wouldn't say annoying.
I can't help it, man.
Ear
Sometimes-
piercing. Yeah. Nails on a chalkboard. Yeah.
So right away we were just like
Screeching.
laughing pretty hard, and then the movie gets going. Like, introduces you to the world of Barbie Land and
Yeah.
the matriarchy that exists there, where the Kens are sort of sidelined. So it's like the opposite of the quote unquote real world, right? And
and they have careers and they're all super established.
yeah. All
everybody can do
the
everything.
Kens do nothing basically
Right.
besides beach.
beach. They do beach.
But they're good
I'll
at it,
beat
man.
you off right now.
Yeah, I'll beat you off. I'm gonna beat you.
That was
beat all of
so
us
good. No one's gonna beat you off without beating. I'll beat you both off.
Yeah. Yeah.
great.
And then right after we get that introduction, Barbie displays this
Yeah. So
question.
then comes like an existential crisis,
Which I love.
Yeah, and then you come to find out that there's some connection between the person that's playing with her
in this universe.
and in this universe and what's
The
going on with her.
Barbiverse, The Barboverse.
So she needs to figure out what's happening, and so she goes to Weird Barbie, who was played by the SNL actress. I forget.
Right.
Kate
She's in
McKinnon.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. she's in a lot of stuff.
Encyclopedia
She's
of
really
mind
good.
over here.
Yeah.
She did really well
I like
in that.
Yep.
Yeah, she was
I
great.
Like that. I like that touch. I like those jokes. I like those interactions.
Yeah.
They're
Always
great.
doing the splits because the Barbies are always
'cause
broken. Yeah.
Weird Barbie would have the splits all the time.
And
The
then
transition to the real world.
And then Margot Robbie goes through Real World to try to fix this whole thing because she wants to go back to her stereotypical Barbie world
But
of
then
life.
Ken goes with her.
And then Ken hides along because Ken has been struggling to get Barbie's
Poor Ken,
attention.
man. I felt for him.
Yeah. He's
He's
he
doing his best.
He just wants to get a kiss, but Barbie's always got
I mean,
the
even
girls
Leslie
over.
just wants to be validated.
Yeah,
Like,
he just
that's
wants-
what
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
the Kens
yeah.
do. And Alan.
Yeah.
Let's not forget Alan.
Alan was funny.
Alan was played
Michael
by
Cera.
Michael
Yeah,
Cera.
by Michael Cera. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was great. He was great. And
Simu Liu though, like as a shit talking Ken, I thought he was fucking awesome.
Who? That was shit talking Ken?
Yeah,
What?
Simu Liu.
I thought he was just Asian Ken. There was like
I
white
didn't know
Ken,
they
Asian
had-
Ken, black Ken. semi-gay
Why was
Ken.
he shit talking? John Cena Ken.
Oh yeah.
That was
John
funny.
Cena has a great cameo.
Merken. Yeah.
Yeah, he's Merken.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it for Noel.
What? He should have.
Out of all the things we're already spoiling,
It's been 2 weeks.
Don't spoil
You should have
John
watched
Cena.
it. You should have watched it.
Yeah. No, the cast I think was great. I didn't have any fucking hatred towards the cast. The songs, I am a show tunes guy, man. I've come to accept it. All right.
Yeah.
You give me a good fucking Broadway musical, Hamilton is on repeat constantly in my car. And that song, the
I'm Just Ken.
I'm Just Ken.
Yes.
Fucking doesn't seem to matter what I do.
If they made a
I'm
live action
always
musical of
number
this,
two.
would you all watch it?
I think I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is almost a musical.
They can do great.
They had a full on dance number, like in
yeah.
performance and everything.
At the beginning, as a dance number.
all the
there's-
Kens.
Yeah, the Kens do that. The Ken musical number was fucking fantastic, man.
So good.
And then the whole part where they're like, he opens up his vest and, it's like, and then people fly like, oh,
Oh yeah, the power of the chest,
power of the chest.
power of the six pack.
and then Asian Ken and White Ken go after each other,
Yeah.
and it's like, then they do the
Glitter
chest offer.
fucking-
That's fucking
I'm telling
hilarious.
you, that had so many
And then
touches
it-
of Anchorman in it for me that
It
I was like,
great.
yeah,
I
I'll
think
accept this.
it's much better than Anchorman.
I'm not saying it's the same.
so
I'm saying
much
it was
better.
along the same lines. Yeah,
It's, Noel, you gotta go watch it. We're
You should,
spoiling
man.
it for you though.
Yeah.
We just spoiled one of like the best jokes, but yeah. Anyways,
You're-
so
ha-
let's going back to what happened. So
And then
Barbie goes to the real world, right? Any thoughts on like Barbie Land before we get into the real world? I thought like the
Visually
production
pleasing,
design is
yeah.
fucking amazing.
Yeah. Apparently, there was an international shortage of the color pink when they were like building everything and painting
You're
everything.
lying.
I'm
Is
serious.
that for real?
Yeah.
Producer?
No way.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah.
Producer gonna have to look that up.
look it up.
No, he doesn't want to look up.
Jeez.
He's getting lazy.
no.
Producer's
Yeah.
getting lazy.
Yeah,
He
he's
might- he might. I think he's. I
Am
think
I
he's-
now?
He's clearly distracted.
Am I?
Don't say that. I take that back. I apologize. I apologize.
You're very busy.
No.
You're very busy.
We're very busy, man. He's very busy. Stop pressuring him.
That's interesting. Yeah, Barbie Land looked fucking great. I liked how they.
I loved everything about Barbie Land. I
And,
love
like,
how
the-
plastic
like, the
it
way
looks.
she's holding things and like
the way they
you know,
drink
they-
stuff, the way
yeah.
you would with playing with the dolls, where they just hold the cup up but nothing comes out.
Exactly, that's the
Yeah.
idea that they're
all
like,
those
they're
small
being
touches.
played with, and then all of a sudden, when like reality starts breaking, she falls. You know, she
Yeah.
got the rotten milk.
Her
The
feet
shower
go
was
flat.
cold. Her feet go flat, and the little
Yes.
jokes like, if my feet were flat, I'd never wear heels." Like, you
Yeah,
know, who would do
yeah.
themselves? Who would put themselves through this kind of
Yeah.
pain?
There was
And
a
all
lot
those
of little jokes like
so
that.
So many good stuff about that, and you know, as you mentioned, and you know, and then why am I repeating it? But we
They
ended
go
up in
into the real world.
Yeah.
They go into the real world. And the real world is sort of an exaggerated version of the real world. It's not the real world like it is.
Have you been to Santa Monica Pier?
Venice, yeah, it's very.
Yeah.
I've been to
Very
Venice.
accurate.
I've been to
It's very
Venice. That
accurate.
part is
Venice,
is
Italy,
somewhat
or Venice,
accurate.
California?
So
What?
wait, what?
Nothing. Yeah.
What was that?
He thought he said
I
it was
said
in
Venice,
Italy.
Venice, Italy, or
Oh,
Venice,
I mean,
California?
clearly
Venice-
California.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's. I mean, I don't know what it feels like to be a woman walking
See,
down.
that's the thing. When they were rollerblading, I don't think there was ever been more real depiction of that. Like, you know, I feel all like, you know, noticed and, you know,
Yeah.
and respected. And it's
Well,
like,
Ken was being-
I feel objectified, and
Ken
there's
got
a
ogled.
underlying of violence. Like,
Yes.
that's fucking real. Like,
It goes even deeper than that, because you had like gay men telling Ken like, "Oh, you look hot" and everything like that, and he was like, "Yeah." He actually kind of wanted to be objectified in that moment because he's actually never been objectified
Yeah.
ever, and so when you've never had any sort of attention and being told like you're hot and things like that, you actually kind of desire it. So
Yeah.
he was like enjoying it, while stereotypical Barbie has always kind of been told like,
Used
you're
to it.
beautiful and everything like that, and
Yeah.
you know, and now it's like
she was being hit on, but like in
in
this
the
world.
other way,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
like not in a sort of
it was,
positive.
It was
sort of-
different. Yeah, it was. And
So I forgot how, but she gets the idea to go to Mattel, and we see that.
well, no, Mattel shows up
Mattel
They show
finds
up at the
out.
school.
Mattel,
Oh, that's
because she
right.
channels her thoughts and
Yes.
thinks of Sasha, who she believes is the girl who played
Yeah.
with her. Yeah,
That girl, by the way, the teenager,
Mm-hmm.
America Ferrera's daughter, spitting image of my niece.
Oh.
I mean, it scares me how.
Well, she was in 65.
I don't know.
Adam
Oh,
Driver?
is that the same
The dinosaur?
one?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
No shit. Yeah. No, I mean attitude-wise, more of that like what you see now with the teenagers, where it's like whatever, I don't care.
I loved that too. How annoyingly depressed and angry they were, kind of like all like, and then how like she lightens up as during the course of the movie and just having that, because I feel like it is very much this generation's teenagers that want to be sullen, want to be. Well, you know, we all kind of went through similar
sounding
stuff
like a couple
too.
of old boomers.
Today's
youth.
I'm not a boomer.
I don't know.
Today's youth doesn't seem to understand.
They don't like Barbies.
We all went
like
through our
we-
angsty
we, like-
stuff, but like I just felt like it was captured well.
Yeah.
it was.
By the way, did you guys play with Barbies as a kid?
My sister had Barbies, and I would make them date my action figures. I remember putting them on
Oh,
dates.
that's nice of you.
And that
Look
was
at
the
you.
that was the most
gotta
of it.
have
I'm
Well,
sure I wasn't the
someone to
only
come
one who
home
made
to.
them have sex. No, I'm not the.
Why?
No?
Why would you even have Barbies in your house? You're an only child. Oh shit! Who the fuck? Why were there Barbies in your house, Sam? Let's start there, please. Let's start there, please. Shut up! Shut up! God damn it! Shut up! Why were there even Barbies in your house, Sam?
Well, yeah.
God.
Okay, so let's get past that. We'll circle back to that part. But I mean, I guess.
So it was
curiosity as a child.
I had friends who were girls who had Barbies, and
did you
then
Right,
I would
right.
hang out with them, and then I would play with
You
their
would take their dolls.
Barbies. I would take Ken and
Wait,
and
were you doing this while they were in front of them?
This is getting worse.
No, I mean
I didn't think it could get worse, but it's getting
But it's
worse.
like you have Ken and Barbie. I mean, when you're in like you're 10 or something or 11, you know, you start to understand that boys and
You were
girls
10
like each
playing
other.
with the Barbies, is what you're saying.
Yeah, is there
getting
a
worse and
problem?
worse.
I don't
It's
see
like, you know
that.
how it goes. You go into 8th grade and
Yeah.
you know you have a science project, so you have your Barbie doll and your Ken doll. And things happen.
I really
Yeah.
don't see anything wrong with any of this.
I mean, look, I think to your point, I'm sure that millions of kids explore with their dolls and play like that.
I feel like for a lot of boys out there, and you know, put something in the comments if you're one of those guys.
Yeah.
For a lot of boys out
Please,
there, their
oust
first
yourself.
exposure to boobs was a Barbie doll. I mean, like there was Barbie dolls were well endowed, especially back in our time. I think they lowered their boobage ever since then. But in our time, they had the nice pointy boobs. And when you're a boy, you're like, wow, boobs.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, nope.
And the other
No,
one.
listen. I cannot relate because I grew up with nothing but brothers. There was no girl dolls or Barbie dolls in our household ever. And anytime we played with female cousins, they wouldn't leave their toys at our house. We wouldn't. So I can't relate to that. But I can see other kids who would have been in the circumstance where they had a Barbie and being curious and being like, "Oh, you saved me, Prince," and then
You never took a Barbie and like slowly started
just
like
stop you right there.
undressing
No.
her, and then
just
like
stop.
music.
Moving on.
Do-do-do-dun.
You're really dragging this metaphor down to the ground, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-dun.
No.
Where
Nope.
were we before we got here?
Oh, so let's talk about like the deeper meanings of Barbie.
Yeah, no, that's a very good transition, Sam.
Thank
That's
you.
a very
Thank
good
you.
transition. But yeah, the deeper meanings. I want you to go with that one.
Sure.
Yeah, 'cause I know it hit you more. I saw you a lot of times when they were having like a talk when they meet the Barbie
Did anyone
creator.
sob during the movie?
No.
No, I didn't hear anybody.
No.
But I know when
I did.
when she met the Barbie creator, and the Barbie creator
Which is Will
talking
Ferrell.
to-
Oh, Ruth.
No,
Ruth.
Ruth.
Oh, Ruth. Sorry, Will Ferrell played the CEO
Yeah,
of Mattel.
no.
We didn't talk about Will Ferrell, but
That's
he's
true, we
also
bypassed
great
him.
in that movie.
That
Yeah.
whole scene with Will Ferrell. That's why I related to Anchorman. That part.
Oh,
is the fact
because
that
he came out?
He came out in it, but
You know, interestingly enough, I thought when he was introduced, they were going to start playing kind of like a Lego movie situation where he was the villain.
I'm glad that he wasn't a villain. Actually,
Same,
that
same,
was really
same.
good.
No, again,
Yeah.
this movie subverted all expectations, I feel. In
Yeah,
the best
yeah.
fucking way possible. And then it got really deep, as we were mentioning, of the idea of, what your self-worth is, what you matter, what you represent towards, like, your meaning, the bigger picture of, like, what, womanhood is and what manhood is, and seeing ourselves within these dolls. Like, there's just so much that this film touched on.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of people, the obvious message is going to be sort of the feminist sort of message that's there about women being not put in a box,
That was
which
huge.
is a scene that happens in the movie.
When
It's
Gloria,
a quick
it-
scene. So
Yeah.
sorry, Arturo.
Oh,
I
go ahead.
wanted to touch on that.
I mean, yeah, because it was metaphorical and it was also
yeah.
literal.
But
yeah, it was literal
also-
and metaphorical.
I've spoken to a few friends who have said that they've avoided it because
Male or
they've
female?
heard male who their spouses agree or at least don't say anything. I don't know. But they've come out and said, I've been hearing about how this is just a feminist, like
A man-hating
24
sort of-
that the entire movie beginning to end is just insults on men and putting men down. And for
Bullshit.
anyone out there that's listening to this,
Well, that's what I wanted to get to.
that has
because-
okay, perfect transition. That has avoided this movie because of that. I will say, at least from what I remember, there was maybe a 1 minute to 1.5 minute scene where America Ferrera's character
She goes off on a.
she's
on
opening
a,
up, and I will add,
And it was awesome.
she doesn't say anything that's not true.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put that out there.
And she never puts down men as necessarily at it. She's just talking
Yeah.
about the reality of being a woman, and you can't do this, but you can't do that. You can't,
Right.
You can only say this, but you also have to be this. And this,
Yeah.
like
Can I-
that, it's so insanely real.
I would like to talk about actually that this movie
Wait.
also if you pay attention to it, it's a little more subtle. Also, the message of it is that men are also
Wait, hold on.
oppressed
Yeah,
in the
but,
patriarchy.
But wait, let's go back to Gloria's speech because I feel like you're going past it too much. Like
I feel
that,
but that's like the obvious message.
No,
It's
no,
so
but it-
it's
but see,
so
that's-
obvious.
it's-
They tell you this is our message. But I think the more interesting one is the one that's kind of in the background.
No, wait, go back to that. What do you mean? Like it's so obvious.
She has a speech where she basically says, like, woman,
But you're making
going
it
to
seem
do
like
this,
it's like
da, da, da.
it's like whatever.
No,
Like,
it's not like
you're-
whatever, but that's
yes.
the one that's like kind of preachy, where it's like, yeah,
It's
the
not
whole
pre-
movie.
See, that's the thing.
is-
It's not preaching. You're undermining
It is
its
preaching.
importance.
She has
You're
a whole
undermining
speech.
its importance, though.
It's important, but actually,
it drives the plot of the film.
actually,
too.
what's more important is the actual message that's happening at the end, where it doesn't matter whether you're male or female. The problem here is that any system that tries to define your identity before you're able to express
I'll
it
give you that.
yourself or experiment for yourself and find out for yourself who you are, that is what's oppressive. And they use the patriarchy, and
Okay.
obviously
I'll
women
give you
in
that,
our
but
history
I
have been
also
more
don't want you
oppressed
to
than men.
overshadow Gloria's speech.
I know, but the
I
thing is
don't
that
want because
that's-
but you keep doing that though.
no, but I think
Yes.
there's that part, that scene is good and all. I'm not trying to say that it's like I didn't like it because
'Cause I
she
don't
went
thi-
off.
yeah,
I just think
'cause-
there's
no,
way
but
more
see-
interesting
no, no, no.
things happening in this movie than just that.
Again,
speech.
you're undermining it.
no,
You
I'm
compl-
not.
Yeah, you just said, but I think there's more important things happening.
That doesn't mean undermining it means that I'm not
You're-
saying it's
exactly.
I'm
You're
saying that it's
as
not important at all.
Exactly.
I don't think it's as important as the next
It's
message.
incredibly important, and it will.
No, because the better message is to say that the problem is that this kind of system, whether it's a patriarchy or a matriarchy,
Yeah.
because in Barbie Land,
No,
it's
yeah.
also oppressive.
And I'm saying, and I agree
The
with that.
point of
but
the
I'm saying
movie-
you need to also refer like.
yeah,
appreciate
but
the
that's
fact
just
that
a starting point, Arturo.
Yeah.
That's just a starting
It's the
point.
driving point of the plot.
I know, but it's a step. It's the first step to get to the deeper meaning, which is forget about the sexes and the
Right.
gender role thing.
Right.
The
Sam?
point is that your
Sam?
identity should not be defined by any sort of social
I'm just
convention.
trying to talk.
Sam.
No, you're just
I
gonna
agree.
defend it because it's the easy thing to defend,
no, it's
Arturo.
not the easy thing to defend. You just called me Arturo.
I'm sorry.
You're clearly blind with rage right now. I'm just trying to say that you're not wrong, but it doesn't mean we should skip that stepping stone. So you're saying, yes, her speech makes sense, but the final speech, which is both sides. Yeah, you're not wrong.
That is-
you're not. You're not
That is
wrong.
the main
Hold on.
point of the
That's-
movie.
That's the main point. But it wouldn't have to be a point if it wasn't for the point that she's making first, which
Yeah,
is
and I agree.
right. Okay, but
No, but the
I get
argument
where
is this.
Arturo's
But you're just saying, let's
Arturo-
agree and move on. Like you're
Arturo
not
is
giving
saying
it a
I'm
chance to-
undermining as this. I'm saying this part is not important,
You
so
know
just
what I-
forget
you know what
about
I
it.
feel like? You know
I'm
what I
saying,
feel like? No.
yeah, it's important, but on it, like, it's
So-
what is there
What
more
is
to
it?
talk
Sam,
about? The
Sam,
movie just
Sam.
tells you.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. It might be controversial. I don't know how audience is gonna take it, but basically what you're saying is it's equal to the people who say Black Lives Matter and you say all lives matter. And
Yeah,
we're like,
that's
yeah,
how
we're
this
not fucking
feels.
arguing
Oh
that.
my god, that is an
That's-
eye roll.
No, that's
Such
how
an
this
eye
feels,
roll.
dude. That's how this
Sam.
feels, man.
That's what it kind
That's
of feels
totally
like.
fine if
Okay.
you feel that way.
I'm just
But
saying. That's what it
is-
feels like because you're not wrong. You're not wrong that
So
all
you're
lives
saying
matter.
it's more important
Listen,
to
Sam,
today
Sam,
to
Sam, let me finish my thought. I'm not saying that all lives don't matter, but there's a reason why a certain category has to speak up. It's like if someone says,
and I'm not saying that
this,
black lives don't matter by saying all lives matter. Why are you making the same mistake that you're saying that I'm making?
No. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that if you watch the movie that talks about breast cancer and how bad that is, and then at the end of the movie they say, "You're right, all cancers are evil." And you're like, well, that's the part we should focus on.
That is the part we should focus on.
Right,
Dude, but
that doesn't make
you're missing the point. Is that breast cancer is just a part of the problem, which is all cancer is wrong, is bad.
Right.
If you just focus on breast cancer,
you think
you're undermining everybody else.
More to you if you have breast cancer?
Huh?
No one is just focusing on that.
If you just focus, but that's what he's trying to say is you got to focus on this. But I'm saying
it sounds like
that's good. But the point is that this other issue
it sounds like you're not giving it because you don't identify with that.
No, that's fine.
That's what it sounds like.
No, that was part of the movie that I liked. The whole movie is about a woman oppression, how women are being put in a box and their identity
all I
is
was saying
defined.
was I wanted to talk more about that, and you kept like putting it down. Like, no, but I need to talk.
But
more
we've
about
talked.
this.
The whole thing is that Barbie, from the beginning up until like 20 minutes before it ends, is about that, and then the next 20 minutes is really good, where it really goes into something deeper, which is about humanity itself and what puts us, what brings us all together.
I'm not saying that didn't happen.
No,
What brings us all together, and that is the important message, and why we should not treat women in a certain way,
They're
why we should
all
not
the
treat
important
men. certain
messages.
ways.
See, I think you're right.
They're
I think
all
that's
the important
Sam,
messages.
No,
Sam,
if there isn't, no, it makes no fucking sense.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. The reason why is your wording, your choice of wording.
Yes.
I get what you're saying. I get what your thought process is, Sam. But when you say that's what's important, when you put the emphasis on emphasis? Emphasis. Emphasis. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. When you put the emphasis on that's what's important, it makes it seem like what you're saying is that's not as important as this. It could be better said.
Do you guys understand logic? If a part is part of a whole, and I say that the whole is important, that also includes the part. You guys are trying to say, because I say the whole is important, that therefore the part is not important. You guys are making the fallacy of saying that because you have to say that this part is important.
But
no,
you
I'm
weren't
saying
including
this
it
part is
earlier.
important by saying that the whole is important, and the whole is more important because it covers all the parts. And if you just focus on one part,
now you're talking about the
alienate
whole.
the different parts.
Earlier, you were alienating it.
No, I'm not. I'm
it.
telling
No,
you
he's
that
not
the
alienating
deeper
it.
meaning
Sam.
covers that too.
Sam, right,
The deeper
we get
meaning
that.
covers
Sam.
that too. No, you're not getting it.
Yes,
because you're
we
saying that
are.
I'm not.
What did she say? What was the speech?
She goes about speech about how women have to act a certain way in order to not be judged a certain way. They have
She lists all
not
the
be
double
too mean,
standards.
not be too
She
nice.
lists all the
They
double
have to be.
standards.
Yeah,
that
because
exist.
there are double standards.
Right,
Yeah,
there are.
there's double
And that's what I'm
standards.
saying.
Yeah,
What we're
and
trying
nobody's
to say,
disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
The only reason, the only reason why this is happening right now is because of the fact that the wording that Sam is choosing implies. I'm not saying that it does, but see, it implies that he's.
my God.
Imagine, it's to the people that are in that category. I know what you're
This
saying.
lack of logic here, guys.
I know what you're saying. No, Sam, it just doesn't come down to just logic.
Fine. Let's
Part of the people that
forget
are
about
there,
it. Forget about what I just said. Let's go back to the speech. Talk about the speech.
I want to just finish on this thought. The people that are in this one category, where yes, it's part of the bigger picture, I feel like they at least want some time where they can just focus on them before we focus on the bigger picture. It's like, yes, absolutely, we need to fix the whole fucking system, but we've been getting the shorter end of this fucking stick for the past hundreds of years. So give us some fucking time, please. Just fucking give us a minute to make it about our fight before you transition and focus on the bigger fight.
We did give you the minute. The movie takes up an hour and 10 minutes of it before it takes 20 minutes at the end.
We did our due diligence.
But like
No,
okay,
because you guys are fucking
okay,
hilarious.
so they're pointing out a double standard, right?
Yes.
Okay, and are they saying like, oh, it's wrong or it's right or?
It's
No,
it's
tough.
going into detail. It's very raw.
she's-
It's very passionate.
The whole movie
the
is
theater that I was in, people were sobbing during that.
Oh fuck! I don't know about that.
No, yeah, but
sobbing
is
hard.
the speech saying saying like it's messed up that there's a double standard or something like that.
Yeah.
No, it's more from
she's
her
venting.
perspective, saying like, a woman can't say that they want to be thin because we can't say that. But
She's
if you
venting.
say we have to be skinny, but you have to be healthy, but then you can't
Be
say
fit.
this, and you also have to allow yourself to be this and that, and then all the things within the workplace,
The way
and
it
real
happens.
life, and your house,
Ah.
and like your role in the household. And she goes into so much detail about the things that necessarily people may not always think about. Especially, dudes as a whole.
It's like
and
it's about a minute.
It's very,
long,
very
if
telling.
anything. It's
And
about
then that propels part of the plot, and in different versions of that.
That's what makes the Barbies
keeps
start
going
to
forward.
manipulate the Kens and turn them against each other.
Because the Barbies got brainwashed at some point.
you had to watch the movie.
So-
There's basically the scene where she's like, you know what? No, yeah, it's fucking fine to feel like there's something wrong because these reasons. And then she goes into that speech. And then the daughter's like,
Yeah, and all of
my
that
mom
and all of
gets
that
it.
is good, and it's a good speech, and it's true. Yeah, all that's true.
There you go.
But,
That's
Excellent.
it.
All right.
I know I said this already before you guys went off, just because
I
I
didn't
wanted to
go off
move
on you.
on
I
to
didn't
the
go off
part
on
where
you.
I think it is more interesting, where the thing and Ken is the most interesting character in his entire movie. By the way, what happens to Ken in his entire arc?
That's a subjective opinion.
It is a subjective opinion, but his whole arc is what's actually makes the movie more interesting than what it actually
The
is.
girl who's the movie is based off of or named after.
No. Barbie's arc is also good. She also I like her arc towards the end, but towards the end of it, I feel it's more. We'll get to that. But let's talk to Ken. Let's talk about Ken, because with Ken, the whole thing is that he's been marginalized in the same way that
Yes.
women have been marginalized in the history of humanity.
Yep.
Definitely 1950s and before, and some would say even to this day. But the way it's depicted in Barbie Land is more of like a 1950s type of vibe.
I got that.
Yeah, and so and then he goes to the real world. He sees that, hey, in this world, men are actually more in charge, and like men are respected and whatever, and I'm not sidelined and anything like that. So he goes back to Barbie Land and basically takes over Barbie Land and has all the Kens
he takes
take over.
the patriarchy with him.
Yeah, he takes the
What he-
ideals of the
yeah,
patriarchy.
what
He wins the Nobel Prize in horses, which is a category that I think
But-
any man can strive to.
But what makes this movie fucking genius, and I hope you guys caught this, is that Ken is not happy, even
Yes.
though he's at the top, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
He's not happy because, again, it's not about whether it's a matriarchy or a patriarchy. It's about any system that tries to define you, who you ought to be, and this happens to men too. And I know
Yep.
I'm not trying to say that men have been just as oppressed as women. Women have obviously been more oppressed in our history of humanity.
Yes.
I'm going to say that right away.
Perfect.
But however,
Thanks, Sam.
because I don't want you guys to get all like, oh, you're nah. But however,
Wait, so you're saying that the only reason you said it is because you were afraid of the bad?
no, because I know you guys are gonna interpret that as being like I'm whatever.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah, you guys,
okay.
you guys,
So only
you guys, you
are
guys.
able to-
Anyways,
What do you mean,
so-
you people?
what I think is going on here is also to show that the patriarchy is also oppressive towards men, because it also tries to define men as being a certain way and not allowing them to find themselves of who they are, find their own identity. Whether they have to be providers, they have to be strong. You can't be a wimp in this world, right? You can't like act like you're scared. You can't show emotion. You have to. This is the man of the patriarchy, right? But Ken is not that person. Obviously, most of us men are not these people, like including I'm a very emotional person. I know you're a very emotional
Fuck
person.
yeah.
And Uble is more of the patriarchal man. Look at him. He's also
With that
very
mustache.
sexy.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean,
But anyways, the point is again here with Ken is to show that it's about this system of defining your identity that's oppressive, and it goes both ways, and it sucks whether it's the matriarchy or whether it's the patriarchy. We need to be able to find who we are, and especially when you bring in gay people, transsexual people who have all different kinds of identities. You don't want a system that puts you in a box, sort of say, so that you're stuck in this, and then you become oppressed as a result. And then what happens later on with Ken and Barbie, the whole conversation that
fucking
they
awesome.
have, which
Loved
is great,
that.
which
Yeah.
again I think is like the most interesting thing is Ken is telling Barbie, I've always been defined as your boyfriend, and which is great because it's a representative of how women have been defined by men in their history, right? Whether it's their fathers or their husbands or even sometimes their sons, and in this case, Ken is in that position. And Barbie, which is tells him like, no, you don't have to be my boyfriend. This is not who you are. You need to go find out who you are and everything like that.
And I love that she apologized too.
Yeah.
See, that was really important for me as a whole in the film, because it's like every time you've been hearing like people like, oh, it's just feminist and this and that. Like clearly at the end, when you get to the end of the movie, like even if you had that thought all the way through somehow, you cannot have that argument with this conversation that happened.
Right. No, you can't.
It completely destroys it. And I love that about it.
Yeah, and the movie like goes up a whole other level when you get to this whole entire scene and what it's doing, and it's pretty fucking genius in my opinion. And then what happens after that? So then, that Ken's arc ends there because now he's Knuff, right?
Yeah.
I want that Sooty. Yeah.
But then what happens with that is even another level of genius, in my opinion, because it actually switches the conversation from talking about sex roles and gender roles to talking about humanity and who we are as humans. Because Barbie's arc is not over yet, and she's still struggling with it. I don't want to go back to being stereotypical Barbie.
Well, and then like the whole idea, they're like, oh, she ends up with Ken. That's her end. And
No, and that's what makes it better, right? This is what I was trying to get at. So, like right here, you get to the point where you talk about what is it that makes us human, the human condition. Ruth comes out,
and
the
then
maker,
she becomes human.
Yeah, and if you notice, go back and watch the movie. That language starts to change too, because she even says like, this is about being human. This is not about you being Barbie or a woman or anything like that, but it's about you being human. And then they go on, they have that conversation, and she's telling, I forget like the specifics of the conversation, but you're kind of going like you're what you're about to embark on and whatnot, and they start to do like a montage of different children and whatnot. And I love that was the only time where I started to get a little bit emotional. That was where I felt like this is really touching on something that is very important and true, and what binds us all regardless of our gender and our sex and everything. And that's what I think is the most important thing, because we're constantly dividing ourselves between I am of this sex, I am of this identity, so therefore we cannot sympathize, empathize with each other, and that's what ends up fucking us all over. We hate each other because you're not this or you're not that, you're not that. And what we should be focusing on is what we are as human beings, and our emotions, how we are the same in that sense. And this movie captures it beautifully. And that's where I'm going to end. I'll leave you guys to talk.
That was a lot. Sam, Noel, I want you to have the American flag waving in the background.
I will.
Just in slow motion, some fireworks as he's doing that speech, because it was very passionate.
That was very powerful.
Sorry.
No,
so,
man,
Ube, what were your thoughts on the movie?
I like the third act where they tried to silence her because of her ties to communism. There was a trial, and I was not expecting the Albert Einstein cameo. That came out of left field for me. So all in all, I fucking love this movie, man. I like the fact that it was disconnected. It had its own feel. The messaging. I don't know if I would take my young daughter, and I'm talking maybe before like 9 or 10. I don't know.
Yeah, they won't get it.
Yeah, they would. A lot of shit would go over their head, and the Barbie Land parts that they would probably enjoy is only like the first few minutes of the movie, and then it goes into the real world, and there's the Mattel chase and all of that. So I'd probably maybe skip taking my I don't know, preteen or teenage. I don't know how old kids are nowadays. But all in all, fucking, I enjoyed it.
They're the same age when you were a kid.
I think years are different. Inflation and years changed.
You want to get to the grades, Uble?
Oh, fuck.
Any closing thoughts?
Oh, closing. Well, I talk too much, so you guys.
I think we summarized a lot of like what the importance of messaging was. It like I got choked up during the whole speech. The conversation between Ruth and Barbie. I wasn't aware of the Barbara connection of her daughter. I was like, man. So I was like, being a father, all those little things hit you harder. And no, I had an absolutely great time with it. I did not think I was gonna. I knew I was gonna enjoy it. I really did. But as much as like the surface level like comedy aspect of it was so well done, very light, and then when it got into the deeper stuff, it got deep.
Yeah,
like the one that hit me too was when we find out it wasn't the daughter but actually the mom and her memories. Again, the whole parent thing, and again, absolutely loved it. And yeah, it was one of my favorites of the year so far.
Do you want to give the grade first? Well, let's change it up again. We'll go to Uble last this time.
This was
please.
an Arturo acclaimed movie for me this year. Back to back with Oppenheimer. Kind of interesting how both movies were absolutely amazing in their own right.
Barbenheimer
All the
is
parallels between the two.
Two thumbs up.
Two thumbs up.
Barbenheimer
nice.
weekend. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Both movies I think were fucking magnificent. So, I've been thinking about this since I saw the movie. Whether this is
more than Oppenheimer?
I was like, how do I feel about this? And I've come to the decision that this is my first 8+ of the year.
Wow. You really are just a Barbie girl living in a Barbie world.
This is why I was very passionate when you started getting into that conversation as to why that
that was great.
I do like the speech, but to me, it's like, again,
there was sexual tension in there.
I don't think if you gave this idea, if you gave, like I said, the task to like 99% of the population, they would have made a terrible Barbie movie because they would have thought this is what Barbie is. You got to do, the stereotypical type of thing. And if you look at some of the animated Barbie movies, they're just like that.
This is how you subvert expectations.
So to me, this is such a well-written script. It should get some nominations for Oscars. I think Ryan Gosling was great in this.
Production design, acting.
I think it's probably going to get a Best Picture nomination. Barbenheimer is probably going to rule the Oscars this year unless something comes out that just like I don't know,
Or
Airbud 17. Airbud 17 comes out next week.
That's
So who knows? Bubs at the bowling alley is what it's called.
I was so surprised, maybe because my expectations of this weren't as high as Oppenheimer. So the way I felt coming out was exactly how I like to feel in these type of movies.
We were talking about movies.
Made me laugh so hard, and it got me intellectually. Like, it got me thinking a lot about it intellectually. I thought about it for days, and even thought about how I was going to talk to you guys about it because I really want to get to certain points, which I ended up doing. And I guess that's why I got into that whole rant. But
it's good.
You know what's fucking wild?
What
is that? After my wife saw this movie, she saw it before me. She said, "Sam's gonna love this movie more than Oppenheimer." And I was like, we're sleeping in separate beds tonight. How dare you say such an atrocious comment? And she was like, let him watch it, because I hadn't watched it yet. So in my head, I was like, how can this movie possibly be better than Oppenheimer for Sam? And she was like, let him watch it. I've seen enough Morons Mince movies to know what he goes for. And I was like, okay. And now I owe her a steak dinner because
you know me too well.
We made a bet.
Norm's has one for $9.99.
And then I don't know if you were being serious, but in our text message, you even said this is going to be Sam's favorite movie of the year.
Right.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was,
and they took that as a joke. Like, there's no way. Like, this can't be even like as good as Oppenheimer. I didn't even give Oppenheimer an A+. I gave it an A.
See, it's funny because I thought you were gonna talk shit on me of like, loving Oppenheimer and rating it so high, and then immediately right after the next movie I watched was also rated really high.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you just love everything.
And
I thought that was going to go in that direction. But yeah, you taught me,
No,
man. I'm with both of you guys. I think going in tradition with my rating scale, I would have to give this probably a 4.5 stars out of 5. I feel like this movie wasn't the full 5 stars for me, but the 4.5, I think it definitely... So just to translate for your guys' scores, it'd be an emoji face with the star eyes.
I don't do those anymore.
And probably 1 thumb up.
That would be like an A- or something like that.
There you go.
I don't know.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It wasn't. If I had to, if this was the Barbenheimer saga, I would still say Oppenheimer wins by knockout in the 12th round. Fucking both of them put up a good fight. Both got in some good hits, but ultimately Oppenheimer had the A-bomb.
I think when you're talking about the technical aspects, the objective things of Oppenheimer, the film quality, the cinematography, I think Oppenheimer is a better made movie.
Not by your grade.
No,
See, that's where it
because
comes down. Ultimately, it's always subjective, though. Suggestive always
but remember,
wins.
I take both things. And while Barbie
your
might have
grading
gotten a
system.
lesser grade in the objective side, it
Your
got a
grading
better
system.
grade on the subjective side. And I usually tend to go towards my subjective side.
Sam,
if
your
that's
grading
it.
sales that makes no sense.
It makes
Take it
perfect
from
sense.
someone who has
Let
a
me pull
solid
up my
grading
paper.
scale.
Let me pull up my paper.
Yeah.
I have my
No,
paper.
we're gonna have to do that.
Before we end, I did want to mention something that I forgot to mention earlier. And right now that Noel is playing the music video in the background, I love the fucking soundtrack to this movie.
Oh yeah,
And
Yeah.
we started touching on it with you, but like even just the song "Dance" by Dua Lipa is so fucking catchy. It's such a good fucking time, and I love that so much of the movie's score was like just versions of that song, either with like just orchestra or like it was like just intense or it was lighter. Like it just this song was so interweaved in the DNA of the movie, and it's a fucking great
played a lot.
catchy ass song. It's
Trent
for the
Reznor had
summer.
a lot of songs in this too. No, Trent Reznor
I don't know.
from Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
No, I'm
yeah.
thinking about Ninja Turtles.
I think it's one that goes,
about
I
Ninja
wanna
Turtles.
fuck you
Yeah,
like
like
an
an animal,
animal.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm pretty
She wants
sure.
revenge.
I'm pretty sure I heard that during
Like,
the
dude,
sex scene.
the way you said
Oppenheimer.
it, just fucking like it's just like
You thought that was real?
what the fuck?
I'm sorry, dude.
All
I'm
right.
sorry. Yeah,
Let's end this,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah. But I
Morons.
fucking love this movie.
yeah, go
Yes.
watch it if you haven't.
It made a lot of sense.
Or don't. I don't give a shit.
Apologize, Noel, for spoiling everything. And as
wasn't
always, have a
Dark
pink night.
Oh,
Night.
pink. Yeah, why not?
Pink Night.
Black pink.